Good day. Today I'm going to present another story I wrote in a sequel. Sequel, that means a series of movies they call sequel. Detective Raju stories. Detective Raju is a PI, private investigator, and is also a lawyer who helps mostly take up cases to represent poor people. Now, this title of the movie, or the title of this story, is called A Gas Leak. There is a big gas company located in a city, slum area, poor people live. In the middle of poor people's community, there's a big gas factory which was there for years. It's owned by Ranganathan, a very politically connected rich guy. He owns the factory. There they manufacture various gases for welding, gases for making fertilizers, gases for cold storage, refrigeration, for fishes, for fruits and vegetables, big time. And one of the gases they manufacture is ammonia, very toxic gas. If somebody breathes ammonia for 1 second, they'll be dropped dead right there. And there's a big storage area where the gas cylinders will store, including ammonia. They're padlocked, and it's a small gate within the factory, so nobody outside and without permission can get in. And then Sivaraman is the chief engineer who works for Ranganathan. And Sivaraman is the chief engineer, and the chief engineer have 3 staff engineers, who work on site. They work on 3 shifts: morning shift, morning 8 to evening 3 o'clock, and 3 o'clock to night 11 o'clock, and night 11 o'clock to morning, again morning 8 o'clock, 3 shifts. They're called shift engineers. And Lalita recently joined the company as a shift engineer in the 2nd shift. She got a master's degree from chemical engineering from a very good prestigious university, and getting a job in the factory is very difficult. It's a high-paying job, and they have free quarters. The 3 staff engineers or shift engineers, along with the chief engineer, Sivaraman, lives in the compound, but away from the factory, gas factory. They got a very beautiful homes. One day, Lalita finished her 2nd shift, 11 p.m. in the night, and then she get onto the bike and go to the house, and about to take a small meal and go to bed, she hears a siren. A siren come out of the factory, something has gone wrong. So she immediately jumps to her motorbike and goes to the factory, found there's a gas leak in the storage area. And then she goes there, she found few workers were lying down, maybe they're dead or unconscious. And there's no 3rd shift engineer at all. And she knows that fellow, there is no 3rd shift engineer to her knowledge, but again, maybe. And then she jumps and she wears the gas mask and all protective gear, open the gate, get inside, try to get the control of the ammonia leak from the tank, turning the wheel, in the direction so she can close the gas. And she almost succeeded the gas leak. And then she fell unconscious because some gas leaked through the system, protective measures she took. And then she became unconscious and fell on the ground. And meanwhile, the gas escaped already spread beyond the factory boundary into the neighboring localities, killing animals, birds, and trees. And some people are dead. People are running, they're sleeping in the midnight, 12 o'clock. So jump from the bed and running all over the place, away from the strong smell of ammonia affecting them. Some people fell in the drainage canal and died. Some people died on the road, and some people ran any vehicle they can find, auto rickshaw or bikes and scooters, and running around all over the place. And the first responders to the city immediately came with firefighters and ambulances. They asked the people to leave, and then the firefighters poured gallons, millions of gallons to bring the ammonia leak to control, because she already controlled. They only had to put the water on the ammonia already in the air. That's what they did successfully. They bring it to the level. And this Detective Raju he got a call from his assistant Ali saying there's a gas leak, come there. They ran to the gate, and then they found And then Ravi, who is Lalita's husband, was worried what happened to his wife, So Ravi and Raju and Dolly with other cops and firefighters get to the inside the factory and found Lalita unconscious with other workers. So pick up those Lalita and then other workers in an ambulance, and they take it to the nearest hospital, and they are recovering, but they got affected because they breathed toxic ammonia for at least for a few minutes. And then in the CC camera they found Detective Raju and Lalita's husband Ravi, the Ranganathan and Sivaraman going in a large SUV towards outside skirts, leave the factory compound. So they followed them. And then they followed the SUV, the big large vehicle which Sivaraman and the factory owner Ranganathan driving. They went to a farmhouse outside the city. They tried to enter to capture them. But then the big firefight, because they got a big security guard, he's a rich guy, a millionaire. Big fight between Raju and Ravi on one side and security guard, and eventually they outnumber, and then they beat up all those rowdies, and then they captured Sivaraman, the chief engineer, and the owner, Ranganathan. And then they brought it, and then the police will arrest them. And then because he got big connection, political connections, he get a bail. But meanwhile, the minister in charge and MLA in charge, the municipal councillor in charge, and the municipal corporation, the collectors, all come to the compound wall, trying to help the people. They did a great job, and the minister immediately announces ex gratia money for people who died, 2 crores, people who got hurt, 90 lakhs, all this trying to pour money to help, to get there, so they don't get angry. But there's a big agitation around the town and around the state for all these people who died, and animals, poor animals died, trees burned because of ammonia leak, a toxic gas. So the chief minister has no choice, although he gets a lot of kickbacks from Ranganathan, but he had to employ a high-level committee to investigate what happened to the leak, what caused the leak. And the committee is headed by a judge, a chairman, with members, chief engineers from gas manufacturing companies, and then from other states. There is a committee of 10 members, and they investigated. They called Sivaraman to the board meeting and said, why you don't have neutralizing solution to neutralize in the automatic sprinkler system you have, to neutralize ammonia. When the leak occurred, it should come out automatically. They said, sir, Ranganathan doesn't want to spend money. So we ran out of neutralizing solution a few weeks ago. He did not refill. And then the sprinkler system cannot operate without the liquid in it. And then they asked, why you don't have third shift engineer? Well, we don't manufacture gas in the third shift. It shut down at 11 o'clock, only stores. So Ranganathan thinks there is no need to employ, to save a lot of money. So he employs only 2 shift engineers, morning 8 to 11 and 11 to 2. And Lalita was in the second shift. And then he tried to blame Lalita for not controlling well before she went to work. That is not true, they said. They investigated the entire every factory. She left in good shape. She went home. She came back when Siren came and risked her whole life to get into the storage area to lock the leakage. In the process, she became unconscious. She's now recovering. She's now recovering in the hospital, they said. And Sivaraman, murmured and tried to put blame on the shift engineers and the workers. And then the committee found Sivaraman, along with main blame on the Ranganathan for his dereliction of the duty and responsible for killing people. So he went to court, and the court judge gave a good trashing, for killing all these people, and fined crores of rupees and shut down the plant and relocate the plant away from city and put him in jail for 10-15 years. This story is a lot of intrigue, lot of suspense, lot of fight. There's not that much room for comedy here, but there is a lot of item songs between Lalita and Ravi in good days when they are singing as husband and wife, and other opportunities when people are happy before the leak. They have a festival on the street with the God, and there's a procession, a big song. So there is opportunities for item songs and fights, but not that much comedy. There may be some comedy in the day before between Detective Raju and Ali, the regular comedy jokes, back and forth. So if anybody is interested to make this movie, they can join me. I will provide the story, of course, and I can write the script, and you can provide the actors, or you can act yourself with friends, and songs with music, remix of old music, we can put it. And we can release on the platform like YouTube or Netflix or Amazon Prime. So if anybody interested, Indians and abroad, Canada, India, anywhere, they can contact me at subba4@msn.com. SUBBA4, like a number 4, @msn.com. Thank you. Bye.